Get in the boat.
Second Lady of the United States. Members of Congress and my fellow Americans.
Whatever.
Our nation is back. Bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
Hell yeah, I thought it was gone. Everyone knows MAGA has peekaboo syndrome. Object permanence, it's a problem.
Less than 5 months from now, our country will celebrate an epic milestone in American history, the 250th anniversary of our glorious
syndrome.
American independence.
Let's go.
This July 4th, we will mark 2.5 centuries of liberty and triumph, progress and freedom in the most incredible and exceptional nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And you've seen nothing yet. We're going to do better and better and better. This is the golden age of America. When I last spoke in this chamber 12 months ago, I had just inherited a nation in crisis with a stagnant economy, inflation at record levels, a wide open border, horrendous recruitment for military and police, rampant crime at home, and wars and chaos all over the world. But tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
Can we guess what they injected him with? My guess is Imodium. You know, or whatever they give long distance runners to not shit themselves. Also,
and
remember,
we will
folks,
never go back
beverages.
to where we were just a very short time ago. We're not going back. Today, our border is secure.
God, fucking children.
Thank you. Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring
How many
economy
times do you think
is
he's going to be
roaring like never
interrupted and called a
before.
liar?
And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again.
Our military and
like
police
never
are just stacked
before.
with big ass titties.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, we now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far.
Mandatory breast implants for all soldiers. It's true. Filled with all of the high-tech gizmos.
In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that for a goddamn second.
But we will always allow people to come in legally, people that will love our country and will work hard to maintain our country.
Except for all of those pores, you know what I'm saying? Those pores, we don't want them here. Just think of what they do to the property values.
The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year.
That's right, folks. 56%. Hospitals can't even get it anymore.
And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years. Year
I did that.
1900. In fact,
It was me.
substantially
I stopped all
before
of the
my
crime.
wonderful father. I had a wonderful father, Fred, before he was born.
He was so great.
Before
He
was
didn't
born.
rent out any
That's a
apartments to
long
black
time
people.
ago.
So good.
He wouldn't like me to say that, but that's a long time ago. The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%. Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
And as we all know, that will offset the thousands and thousands of dollars you're paying in tariffs. Saving $20 at the
Mortgage
pump.
rates are the lowest in 4 years
equal.
and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. And low interest rates will solve the Biden-created housing problem while at the same time protecting the values of those people who already own a house that really feel rich for the first time in their lives. We want to protect those values. We want to keep those values up. We're going to do both.
Yeah, it's really great to be someone looking to buy a
And we are
home
going to
right
keep
now.
it that way. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and
It's
retirement
going down
accounts
and
for the
staying the
millions
same.
and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up, way up. In 4 long years, the
Unless
last
you're poor,
administration
in
got
which
less
case
than
you're fucked, but you were already
$1 trillion
poor.
in new investment in the United States. And when I say less, substantially less. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe.
None of it has started yet, and it's not going to start for another 5 years at least. And when I'm out of office, it's not my problem anymore.
Think of it, much less than $1 trillion for 4 years versus much more than $18 trillion for 1 year. What a difference a president makes.
That's right,
A short
1
time
trillion.
ago, we were a dead country. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest.
That's right. Global warming's affecting us the most. Our deserts are going to be the most dry. The hottest deserts. So many people are going to die from lack of air conditioning. It'll make your
As
head spin.
thousands of new businesses are forming and factories, plants, and laboratories are being built, we have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a very short period of time. It's getting bigger and bigger and stronger.
It's because
Nobody
we were
can
deporting
believe
all
what
of the
they're
guys who
watching.
hung out outside of Home
American
Depot.
oil production is up by more than 600,000 barrels a day, and we just received from our new friend and partner, Venezuela, more than 80
Our new
million
friend.
barrels of oil.
Our new friend that we stole oil from. Oh my god. We stole
American
it from
natural
them.
gas
They love
production
us.
is at an all-time high because I kept my promise to drill, baby, drill.
Hell yeah, we love drilling. Isn't drilling great, folks? Especially when it poisons local water supplies.
More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think about that.
Also,
any time in
didn't
the
he
history of our
take the
country, more
proceeds
working
and put
today. And
the oil proceeds in a bank
100%
account
of
in,
all
like,
jobs
Qatar?
created under my administration have been in the private sector.
You know, I'd say the level of squat
We
doing
ended
that the Republicans are doing is
DEI in
surprising.
America.
Well, we all know they're practiced at taking Donald Trump up the, you know what. A lot of
We cut a
sitting up,
record number of
standing up.
job-killing regulations, and
Yeah.
in 1 year we have lifted 2.4
Where I
million
thought so
Americans,
too.
a record off of
I thought they were
food
going to do it
stamps.
at 6 o'clock in the evening, and instead they did it at 9. So,
And for all of these reasons, I say tonight, members of Congress, the state of our union is strong.
every single one of these clans should go to prison.
Our country is winning again. In fact, we're winning so much that we really don't know what to do about it. People are asking me, please, 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 Mr. President, we're winning too much.
How can
We
I
can't
see?
take it anymore. We're not used to winning in our country. Until you came along, we're just always losing, but now we're winning too much. And I say, no, 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 you're going to win again. You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here
I
with
will
us tonight
shit
is
my
a group
pants.
of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on.
God,
in.
what a fucking group of embarrassments. Look at these sacks of shit.
The cognitive dissonance on the right is going to be insane when the reality doesn't match. But then Daddy will say it's fine.
Look at these sacks of shit. Oh, we're just doing it to be patriotic. Fuck you. Fuck you. At least the women's USA team had some fucking dignity, you know? They just said, "No, we're not gonna do this." Guess they're all taking some tips from heated rivalry for Donald Trump, huh?
Go
Fucking
ahead.
dipshits.
They do.
The real USA heroes are the women's hockey team. Fluff these losers.
True. Not Smirt, thank you for the $5 dono. PC Schwartz, thank you for the $5 dono as well.
That's the first time I've ever seen them get up. And actually, not all of them did get up.
Yeah, because
But
fuck
they
those
beat
guys.
a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House.
I hope not. If they have any dignity, they won't. I'm not going to say
They
the
were
rest
in
of
the
the mean
Oval
things I
Office
think about
before.
these guys.
And I just want to say a second very big congratulations to Team USA. But I have to say that, and I told them this, and we took a vote
Didn't they
of the
decline?
team.
Yes.
I said, anybody votes no, I'm not doing it. So they stood there, and they weren't about to say no, because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck.
This guy looks like he wants to die. The USA men's cucky team, indeed.
Think of it, 46 shots on goal, and I asked him, the one shot, the one where you put your stick in the back and it hit the neck of your stick and bounced off, do you practice that, or was that a little lucky? He refused to answer that question. But I just want to tell you that the members of this great hockey squad will be very happy to hear, based on their vote and my vote, and in this case, my vote was more important.
When the State of the Union and
that
the
I
State
will
of the
soon
country
be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be
is
given,
instead talking
and which
about
has
fucking
been
sports.
given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12.
God.
It's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential
Did he fucking
Medal
forget?
of Freedom.
He had to stall for time. Oh, God.
Why is he so interested in how they practice their back shots?
Because he wants to know where they stick it. Where they put the stick. It's really important. Where exactly behind them do they put the stick?
Great athletes have gotten that, very great, the best. And I thought he deserved it. And I did take a vote, every single one of them. I said, I'm not giving it if anybody goes no.
The goalie is
every
getting a
single
medal
one
of
of them rapidly
freedom
put up
for
their
playing
hand.
hockey.
So I
Yes,
want to thank
Spherical
you.
Man.
What a special job you did. What special champions you are. Thank you very much.
You're my special little boys. You're the specialest little children I never had. What's that? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Don Jr. Those are my real boys.
I'm also pleased to say that the next time the Olympic torch is lit, it will be here in America for the 2028 Olympics, and it's the summer version right in Los Angeles. We're going to do a good job in Los Angeles.
Oh, thanks for clarifying. It's going to be the summer version. I thought it might be the winter version again in 2028. God. What? Just embarrassed on the world stage constantly.
And Los Angeles is going to be safe, just like Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities in the country.
Washington, D.C. crime didn't go down because you sent
And
the
this
National
year,
Guard there.
and I must say I got them both. I got them in my first term, and I was disappointed because
No
I
one's
didn't
gonna
think
wanna
I'd
come
be
to the United
the president when
States.
this happened. But strange things
A British
took
tourist
place.
got arrested and
And
detained
now
by
I
ICE
got
for like
them
6
because
weeks.
I got the Olympics and I got the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and I wanted to claim the 250th, but I didn't get away with that one. I couldn't claim that one for myself. But we're getting the World Cup, so we have the World Cup and the Olympics coming, and that is exciting news.
No, I don't think he's extremely ADHD because this is a marked pattern.
So this
that is
will be a
different from
year
what he
to
used to talk
celebrate
like.
our country and the heroes who have kept it free. Men like Buddy Taggart.
I also just want to point out
At age 17,
He's
Buddy
reading a
volunteered to defend
speech.
America in World
isn't
War II, serving
word
in the Pacific
association.
under the great General
This is not
Douglas
supposed to be.
MacArthur. He fought bravely in the famous Battle of Manila, worked so hard. He was badly wounded and almost killed by enemy machine guns in Luzon. And 81 years ago this month, he liberated the largest internment camp in the Philippines, one of the largest anywhere in the world. But he earned many honors, including a Purple Heart.
Man, talking about
and a
fucking
Bronze
internment
Star,
camps
came
in
home,
2026.
started a family,
Fuck
and
you,
tonight
man.
he is in
You're
the
trying to
gallery
build
looking
like
forward
20 of
to
them.
July 4th, 2026, his 100th birthday.
When Douglas MacArthur freed the internment camp prisoners, that was good. So we're gonna build 20 more for his grandchildren to liberate. That way each one of them can be a hero too.
So, buddy, you're a brave man, and we salute you. Even in times of challenge, setback, and immense heartache, the spirit of 1776 has always shone through very brightly. It was July 4th of last year when floodwaters tore through a girls' summer camp in Central Texas. One of the worst things I've ever seen. I was there, rising 26 feet
You were there?
matter of minutes, tragically claiming many, many lives.
And he
all
survived.
remember that
It was
one?
incredible.
As the waters threatened to sweep her away, 11-year-old Millie Kate McClelland closed her eyes and prayed to God. She thought she was going to die. Those prayers were answered when Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin descended from a helicopter above. Nobody knew where he came from. It was Scott's first ever rescue mission, a young guy, but very brave, very, very top, always top in his class. And he lifted not just Millie Kate, but 164 others to safety.
Okay, that guy is genuinely a hero, though.
People watched Scott from a distance, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. The winds were blowing, the rain was pouring, everything was going, and that rapid water, nobody's ever seen anything like it. They said, wow,
I was
that's
there.
something.
That's how I know.
Tonight, Scott and Millie Kate are here together, reunited for the very first time. Thank you, Scott, Millie Kate. And Petty Officer Ruskin, I'm pleased to inform you that I am now awarding you the Legion of Merit for extraordinary heroism, which is what it was. Extraordinary heroism. Thank you.
He's like hunched over to one side. It's weird. Yeah, Peace Earth, exactly.
I'd like to have the
GOP
military
cut funding
aid
for
to please
flood
come
alerts
down
to the area.
and take care of the service. Military aid, thank you very much. Take care of that very important service. Thank you very much.
Is he trying to hide
From
his hand?
1776 to today, every generation of Americans has stepped forward to defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Look at that.
And they're really doing
That's
it
not
for
normal,
the next
right?
generation. But now it's our turn. Together we're building a
Like,
nation.
it'd be like if I was doing
where every
my show
child
like
has
this.
the chance to
It's
reach
just
higher
weird.
and go further. Where government answers to the
do look
people,
good, though.
not the powerful, and where the interests of hardworking American citizens are always our first and ultimate concern. That is the debt we owe to the heroes who came before us, and that is the promise we must keep to America.
He's always
for our
done that? I don't know that he's always
250th
done that.
year. Last year,
watched
I
a lot of
urged
his
this Congress
speeches.
to begin the mission by passing the largest tax cuts in American history, and our Republican majorities delivered so beautifully. Thank you, Republicans.
Is that a stroke thing? I mean, that's what I'm wondering.
All Democrats, every single one of them, voted against these really important and very
Oh God, is he
necessary
gonna? He's just gonna
massive
use
tax
this
cuts.
as an excuse. Yeah, all of them voted not to defund Medicaid by $1 trillion
They
to
wanted
give them a cut.
large-scale
richest people on
tax
Earth.
increases to hurt the people instead.
The
But we
large-scale
held
tax
strong, and with the
increases
great,
to hurt the
big,
billionaires.
beautiful bill,
Boo-hoo.
we gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
Yeah, people aren't complaining about those things. They're complaining about the Medicaid cuts, you dipshit.
And we
God, most
also
of us are
made
gonna
interest
pay
on
more in
auto
taxes
loans
now.
tax deductible the first time, but only if the car is made in America.
God, these sycophantic losers.
Recently in Pennsylvania, I met Megan Hemhauser, a devoted mom who's homeschools her children, beautiful, 2 children, during the day while waiting tables at night as her husband works overtime operating very heavy equipment. Megan is here this evening and she's happy to tell you that she is so much richer because with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and our expanded child tax credit done again by Republicans, Megan and her husband will take home more than $5,000 extra just for the year, cutting her tax bill in more than half.
Can I just say, again, one of Biden's biggest fucking failures was ending the child tax credit and letting it lapse.
Megan, please stand up. We're fighting for you, Megan.
It was one of the easiest layups he got,
Thank you.
and he let it die.
Thank you, Megan.
Brought so many
We're
children
fighting
out of
for you,
poverty.
Megan. Under our bill, parents like Megan can also activate their children's brand new Trump accounts. And I didn't name it. I did not name it. I did not name that.
Just all of my yes men named it. They were so far up my asshole on that one.
Nobody believes me, but I did not name it. It was named by a very tall man sitting right there in the third row.
Very tall man with a brown
Nice
nose.
man, a good man.
The brownest nose, really.
Tax-free investment accounts for
I've
every
spent way
American
too long
child. This is
thinking of
something that's so
something.
special and
GOP
has taken
bad,
off and
Trump
gone through the
awful.
roof.
Keep up the good
Millions
work.
will be
You run
pre-funded
with the
courtesy of the U.S.
algorithm, put
Treasury
my
and
low.
private individuals
Hell
like
yeah, Miles
Michael
Smith.
and Susan Dell,
$5 super
who
chat.
have donated $6,250 million to fund the Trump accounts for 25 million American children.
Jesus. What?
They're great people.
$6 billion? You all realize they're gonna get tax breaks for that, right? They're gonna get a $6 billion tax break. God.
You know, I asked Michael Dell, how do you make all that money? He said, well, I just sat on my dorm in school and I made computers and I'd sell them to people. And I just kept selling and selling and selling. And pretty amazing story. That's called the American dream. He sold a lot of computers, a lot of those laptops. So I congratulate him on that. But I really thank him and Susan, as well as others like Brad Gerstner, a very tremendous guy. He was behind it right from the beginning. Brad Gerstner. Thank you, Brad. So with modest additional contributions, these young people's accounts could grow to over $100,000 or more by the time they turn 18. Think of it. How much money is that for somebody that started with nothing? Over
Just
100,000.
in case you
could be
guys
much more
don't
than
know,
that. To make
he's
this
literally
investment in our
a
children's
fucking
future,
hedge fund
go
manager
to
and podcaster.
TrumpAccounts.gov. TrumpAccounts.gov. And a lot of people are doing it. They're setting every record in the book. It's popular. They knew what it was going to take. So proud of them. I'm so proud of the people that got it started. And now it's just taken off. One of the primary reasons for our country's stunning economic turnaround, the
Can I just
biggest
say-
in history, where the Dow Jones broke 50,000 4 years ahead of schedule.
The guy he just
and the
called
S&P
out-
hit 7,000, where it wasn't supposed to do it for many years, were
Went to
tariffs.
Harvard and
I
then
used
just
these
made
tariffs,
good
took in
investments
hundreds of
into
billions of
NVIDIA
dollars
prior to
make
the AI
great deals
boom.
for our
That's
country,
it. That's
both
it.
economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. They were-
Okay, I'm gonna pause it real quick because I need you guys to know the guy he just shouted out didn't just like sell computers. he waited for the 2008 financial crash and then got all of his friends and family to invest over $3 million into a venture capital firm that bought up a bunch of like failing, dying companies and then flipped them to turn a profit. He's like the venture capital guy. Vulture capitalism, if you heard of it, it's what he does. That's how he got wealthy. And then he bought everything when it was dirt cheap during the 2008 financial crisis, and then just kept selling companies after they had recovered until he bought another venture capital firm and then invested all of that money into Nvidia prior to the AI boom. So, like, basically, he got all of his money by just being a little fucking weasel and timing, like, the fucking recession. That's it. He wasn't just selling computers.
Ripping us so badly, you all know that. Everybody knows it. Even the Democrats know it. They just don't want to say it. And yet these countries are now happy, and so are we. We made deals. The deals are all done. And they're happy. They're not making money like they used to, but we're making a lot of money. There was no inflation, tremendous growth, and the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal.
Also, Will Kale, just to clarify, Biden didn't end the child tax credit. To be more precise, the expanded child tax credit expired back in 2021, and so it didn't end, but it also was essentially cut almost in half. So that's a big problem when the expansion of the tax credit lifted like a huge proportion of children out of poverty.
That they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement.
Is he looking right at the court right now?
Despite the disappointing ruling, these powerful, country-saving, it's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in, peace-protecting. Many of the wars I settled was because of the threat of tariffs. I wouldn't have been able to settle them without. Will remain in place under fully approved and tested alternative legal statutes. And they have been tested for a long time. They're a little more complex.
Genuinely wondering if Republicans are going to clap.
Leading to a solution that will be even stronger than before. Congressional action will not be necessary. It's already time-tested and approved. And as time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
I'm sorry, what?
Right?
He's standing in front of the entire goddamn world and saying he's going to levy a huge universal tax on the American people, and they're clapping
and trillions of dollars will continue pouring into the United States of America because we finally have a president who puts America first. I put America first. I love America.
By taxing everyday Americans. Let's increase the tax burden on working class Americans. That'll surely show how much he loves America.
For decades before I came along, we had the exact opposite. From trade to healthcare, from energy to immigration, everything was stolen and rigged in order to drain the wealth out of the productive, hardworking people.
Republican seats are electrified.
Who make our country great, who make our country run. Under Biden and his corrupt partners in Congress and beyond, it reached a breaking point with the Green New scam, open borders for everyone. They poured in by the
Green New Deal would have resurrected manufacturing in America, you fucking dunce.
11,888 murders. They came into our country. You allowed that to happen. and record-setting inflation that cost the typical family $34,000 in just a speck of time. Now, the same people in this chamber who voted for those disasters suddenly use the word affordability, a word they just used it. Somebody gave it to them, knowing full well that they caused
No one had
and
ever heard of
created
affordability
the
before.
increased prices that all of our citizens had to endure. You
speck of
caused
time.
that problem. You caused that problem.
Look, he's feeling poetic.
Transgend, I mean open borders for everyone.
Yeah, what happened to my promised transgender for everybody? We haven't gotten it yet.
They knew their statements were a lie. They knew it. They knew their statements were a dirty, rotten lie. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
Those prices are plummeting downward because I lifted the tariffs on them. That's how I made it look like the prices are going down. Except
The price
the
of
prices aren't
eggs
going down.
Is down 60%, Madam Secretary. Thank you. The cost of chicken, butter, fruit, hotels, automobiles, rent is lower today than when I took office by a lot. And even beef, which was very high, is starting to come down significantly. Just hold on a little while. We're getting it down. And soon you will see numbers that few people would think were possible to achieve just a short time ago.
Beef prices are
Nobody can believe when they
51%
see the
higher
kind of
than they were in
numbers, especially
2020.
energy.
Fuck
When
you.
they see energy going down to numbers like that, they cannot believe it. It's like another big tax cut.
Man, if you pay
I'm also
attention to how much you pay
confronting
on
one of the
groceries, you
biggest
know this man's
ripoffs
full
of our
shit.
times, the crushing cost of health care caused by you. Since the passage of
Caused
the
by
Unaffordable
you.
Care Act, sometimes referred
You
to as
fucking
Obamacare,
cut $1
big
trillion
insurance companies gotten rich. It was meant for
out of
the insurance
Medicaid.
companies, not for
Fuck
the
you.
people. With our government giving them hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year as their stock prices
Thanks
soared
for entertaining
1,000,
through this
1,200, 1,400,
welcome.
and even 1,700%, like nothing else. That's why I introduced the great health care plan. I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give that money directly to the people so they can buy their own health care.
That's
which
not
will be better
fucking
healthcare at a
happening.
much lower cost.
None of what he's saying is actually happening. He's just gonna cut people off of healthcare, cut subsidies, and give all of that money to the wealthiest motherfuckers who exist. And they're all clapping for him like trained fucking seals.
In addition, my plan requires maximum price transparency.
They
That's a
haven't
big
even
deal.
passed any healthcare legislation.
Sounds so simple, so big.
The healthcare legislation
And I
they
did
last
that in my
passed was
first term, and the
gutting it.
Democrats immediately terminated it with full knowledge that they were doing a very bad thing for the people. Costs were going to go way up, and that's what happened. And now I'm bringing them way down on health care and everything else.
God, if you've
I'm
gone
also
to the
ending the
hospital in the
wildly
last
inflated
year,
cost
you know
of
that's a fucking lie.
prescription drugs like has never happened before.
Trump lies, Jack? Oh, this is the first time hearing about it.
Other presidents tried to do it, but they never could. They tried. Most didn't try, actually. But they tried. They said they tried. They couldn't do it. They didn't even come close. They were all talk and no action. But I got it done under my just enacted
All
most
hat, no
favored
cattle.
nation agreements. Americans who have for decades paid by far the highest prices of any nation anywhere in the world for prescription drugs will now pay the lowest price anywhere in the world for drugs. Anywhere. The lowest price.
You really think someone would do that? Stand behind a podium and tell lies?
So in my first year of the second term,
It's the clapping in the theater that really
be my
bothers
third
me. You know?
but
They all
strange
act
things
like he's
happen.
telling the truth. And
I
they
took
all know he's lying.
prescription drugs, a very big part of healthcare.
Like, the thing that gets me about this is that everyone in that room knows he's full of shit. Every Republican standing up to clap knows that he's lying through his teeth. Like, they know he's full of shit. And they clap for him anyway. They tell him how brilliant and wonderful and how good a boy he is. And like, it's just infuriating. And this is why I think those guys need to go to prison. Like, the Republican Party needs to go to fucking prison for this. Like, it should be a fucking federal crime to lie like this as a president or as a member of Congress. And it's fucking disgusting that they are perpetuating this with like a theater of lies. God, it's fucking infuriating.
From the highest price in the entire world to the lowest. That's a big achievement. The result is price differences of 300, 400, 500, 600% and more. All available right now at a new website called TrumpRx.gov. And I didn't name that one either, by the way. And here tonight is the very first customer ever to get that big discount, and it is big, Catherine Rayner. For 5 years, she and her husband have struggled with infertility, and they turned to IVF. One drug has been costing Catherine $4,000 to purchase. But a few weeks ago, she logged onto...
It is worth noting that this man once said, "I never had the privilege of going to Epstein's Island." You know, just worth noting.
...to the Trump RX website and got that same drug that cost $4,000, got it for under $500.
Yeah, this guy's
of much more,
wanting to throw a celebration for himself for reinventing the idea
Catherine,
of coupons.
We are all praying for you, and you're going to be a great mom.
Yeah, the Republican Party has been trying to ban IVF.
So now I'm calling on Congress to codify my most favored nation program into law. Now, the one thing, I'm not sure it matters because it's going to be very hard for somebody that comes along after me to say, let's raise drug prices by 700 or 800%. But John and Mike, if you don't mind, codify it anyway. They may do it. Codify it anyway. Thank you. Many Americans are also concerned that energy demand from AI data centers could unfairly drive up their electric utility bills. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that I have negotiated the new Ratepayer Protection Pledge. You know what that is?
A non-binding
agreement. We're telling the
agreement?
major tech companies that they have the obligation to provide for their own power needs. They can build their own power plants as part of their factory so that no one's prices will go up. And in many cases, prices of electricity will go down for the community and very substantially down. This is a unique strategy never used in this country before. We have an old grid. It could never handle the kind of numbers, the amount of electricity that's needed. So I'm telling them they can build their own plant. They're going to produce their own electricity. It will ensure the company's ability to get electricity while at the same time lowering prices of electricity for you and could be very...
Again, want to really emphasize, this is a pledge from these companies. This is not legislation mandating any kind of arrangement whatsoever. There is no legal obligation here whatsoever. This is just companies saying, yeah, we'll definitely build our own power plants. 100%, bruv. Just, hold your horses. And until we get that power plant built, we'll connect ourselves to the grid. And we promise prices won't go up. We promise, bro. Trust us. We would never take massive government handouts to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars.
Very substantial for all of you cities and towns. You're going to see some good things happen over the next number of years. Another pillar of the American dream that has been under attack is home ownership. With us tonight is Rachel Wiggins, a mom of two from Houston. She placed bids on 20 homes and lost all of those bids to gigantic investment firms that bypassed inspection, paid all cash, and turned those houses into rentals, stealing away her American dream. She was devastated. Stories like this
And we're gonna
are
make that
why last
easier.
month I signed executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up in the thousands single-family homes.
Just as an FYI, an executive order cannot stop investment firms from buying single-family homes. That would require an act of Congress, and I can guarantee you, Republicans are not going to vote for that.
And now I'm asking Congress to make that ban permanent, because homes for people, really, that's what we want. We want homes for people, not for corporations. Corporations are doing just fine. Raysel, thank you very much. Good luck with your home. You'll get one
Homes
soon.
for people.
I just realized maybe that's something we need. We need homes for people.
I would also like to announce that we're launching the
We're
Donald
also
Trump
working
School
to
for
make it
kids who can't
easier
read
for
too good.
Americans to save for retirement. And under this administration, we will always protect Social Security and Medicare. They are not protecting it for our seniors. We will always protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid.
We'll always protect Medicare and Medicaid. Ignore the fact that our one piece of legislation
Since
that
I
we
took
passed
office,
cuts
the
Medicaid
typical
by $1
401k
trillion.
balance is up by at least $30,000. It's a lot of money. We have millions and millions of people, because the stock market has done so well, setting all those records. Your 401ks are way up. Yet half of all of working Americans still do not have access to a retirement plan with matching contributions from an employer. To remedy this gross disparity, I'm announcing that next year my administration will give these often forgotten American workers, great people, the people that built our country, access to the same type of retirement plan offered to every federal worker. We will match your contribution with up to $1,000 each year, as we ensure that all Americans can profit from a rising stock market. Let's also ensure that members of Congress cannot...
I just want you to understand what he's saying here, which is that he's saying the U.S. government is going to be personally investing like $1,000 per person into 401k investment accounts. It's a massive handout to all of these firms that manage these 401ks. It's a massive handout to fucking Wall Street. It's just a major cash infusion to the wealthiest people in the world. And it's a step closer towards privatizing Social Security, which is their long-term goal here. You know?
corruptly profit from using insider information.
Yeah, Romney Care was a handout to health insurance companies, 100%. Yeah, it props up the stock market bubble for, a handful of more months.
They stood up for that. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
I can't.
I can tell you, Lucy Holscher, I don't have a retirement plan. Like I'm a streamer. I'm self-employed. I don't got nothing. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and also please consider supporting the stream financially because you guys make this show possible. Haha. All right.
Believe it. Did Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here? Doubt it. Pass the Stop Insider Trading Act without delay.
God, this is what I mean. This is what I fucking mean. When I talk about Democrats leaving, ideological real estate on the table, it allows Donald Trump to stand up on stage like this and be like, look at that. I think you should stop insider trading. And, Donald Trump doesn't care about that. But he does want to take a pot shot at Nancy Pelosi. And also, it makes him look like he's flanking the Democrats, outplaying them at their own game. Don't let him do that. If you full-throatedly go for accountability and anti-corruption, you don't let them do that. You don't allow them the space to maneuver like that. It's so frustrating.
Contributing to Jack's 404 not found retirement fund.
Salmon Moose, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Very much appreciated.
I wasn't sure if anybody even on this side was going to applaud for that. I'm very impressed. Thank you. I'm very impressed. But when it comes to the corruption that is plundering, it's plundering America. There's been no more stunning example than Minnesota.
Oh, fuck you.
Of the Somali community have
pillaged
an estimated $19 billion from the American taxpayer. Oh, we have all the information. And in actuality, the number is much higher than that. And California, Massachusetts, Maine, and many other states are even worse. This is the kind of corruption that
disgusting
shreds the
racist
fabric of a nation, and we are working on it like you wouldn't believe.
You don't have to work on it. They already caught the people committing fraud, you stupid monster. God.
So tonight, although started 4 months ago, I am officially announcing the war on fraud to be led by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm extraordinarily angry.
He'll get it done. And we're able to find enough of that fraud. We will actually have a balanced budget overnight. It'll go very quickly. That's the kind of money you're talking about. We'll balance our budget.
Yeah. The entire reason our budget is unbalanced right now isn't because of poor planning or poor execution or rampant corruption among Republican officials. No. It's because immigrants are stealing our money. Ignore exactly who in our society has all of the money. It must be the poor immigrants who are coming here and doing fraud and spiriting the money away to who knows where. It couldn't possibly be the people in our society with the most money sitting on their fucking dragon hoards of wealth. Couldn't possibly be those guys.
Pirates who ransacked Minnesota remind us that there are large parts of the world where corruption and lawlessness are the norm, not the exception. Importing these cultures through unrestricted immigration and open borders brings those problems right here to the USA. And it is the American people who pay the price in higher medical bills, car insurance rates, rent, taxes, and
immigrants bring down prices and raise wages. Fuck you.
We're going to take care of this problem. We are not playing games. Delilah.
He does want to say the N-word very badly. This guy's a fucking monster. Oh yeah, no, he got too far away from the mic.
Delilah Coleman was only 5 years old in June 2024 when a 18-wheel tractor trailer plowed into her stopped car traveling at 60 miles an hour or more. The driver was an illegal alien let in by Joe Biden and given a commercial driver's license by open borders politicians in California. Doctors said Delilah would never be able to walk or talk, have a good life. She wouldn't even be able to eat again. But against all odds, she is now in the first grade learning to walk. And she's here this evening with her dad, Marcus, a fantastic man. Delilah, please, you are a great inspiration. Please stand up.
Yeah, oddly enough, no blame for the company that hired the guy. Hey, you know, I can actually think of a really prominent immigrant to the United States who is actually responsible for many people being burned alive. And that man's name is Elon Musk. his company released the Tesla Cybertruck, a car that is over 14 times more prone to exploding than the Ford Pinto. It is the most explosive car ever put on the market. People have literally been trapped inside and burned to death. But oddly enough, we're not talking about Elon Musk's crimes. Huh. So strange. Weird how there's just constant deflection from the billionaire class, or should I say the Epstein class? Oh, there's a lot of deflection from the Epstein files as well. That's so strange, don't you think?
Thank you, Delilah. Many, if not most, illegal aliens do not speak English and cannot read even the most basic road signs as to direction, speed, danger, or location. That's why tonight I'm calling on Congress to pass what we will call the Delilah Law, barring any state from granting commercial driver's licenses to illegal aliens. And yes,
it goes without saying, he is just lying and relying on the racism of his constituents for them to not realize his lies. That's it. That's all he's doing.
Yesterday, as you probably saw at the White House, I hosted a ceremony with Americans who lost their treasured loved ones to the scourge of illegal immigration. People came into our country, how we allowed this to happen with our open borders. These are the angel moms and families that for decades our government betrayed and our media totally ignored. It was terrible. Hard to believe, actually. In 2023, a 16-year-old high school cheerleader named Elizabeth Medina was supposed to perform in her town's Christmas parade, but she never arrived. Her mother, Jacqueline, went home to look for her, and she found her lying dead in a bathtub, bleeding profusely after being stabbed 25 times. Elizabeth's killer was a previously arrested illegal alien who had broken in and brutally extinguished the brightest light in her family's life, violently and viciously. Her heartbroken mother is in the gallery to remind everyone in this chamber exactly why we are deporting illegal alien criminals to our country at record numbers, and we're getting them the hell out of here fast. We don't want them.
That's not true. Like, it's not true that they're deporting them fast. They specifically, in the one piece of legislation that they have passed, the massive funding bill that cut $1 trillion from Medicaid and screwed all of us over, that bill specifically limits the number of immigration judges, i.e., to the people who determine who gets deported or not, right? The estimated number of immigrant judges that it would take to get through just the number of people prior to Trump who were in, like, temporary lodgings being held by the US government would have been 1,300 to get rid of them in the next 10 years. The bill that they passed limits the number of immigration judges to just 800, which makes it clear that this plan is not to deport them fast. This plan is to hold them for as long as possible so that their private prison donors who run all of their concentration camps get to make the maximum amount of money. It is a massive handout to the private prison industrial complex. And it sets the stage for massive amounts of abuse and for even bigger tragedies to unfold if it is not stopped here and now. Even the deportation narrative that they want to spread is fucking bullshit if you look into the legislation they've actually passed. We're only going after the bad ones. That's why we're arresting the people who are going to all of their court dates and following the law.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you. We can never forget that many in this room not only allowed the border invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over
it's
again.
a pro-slavery agenda.
If they ever
It
got
really
elected,
is.
they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you.
I know I'm being a pause champ. I've given in. I was just gonna let it go, but I'm gonna be a pause champ about this. Jason Kelly in YouTube chat writes, "It's sort of funny though. Here in conservative Utah, we actually have a lot of immigrants from Latin America, and I haven't seen any signs of ICE. They're only focusing on Democratic states." And the reason for that is because Donald Trump and his administration are genuine, true believers in absolute bullshit. And what I mean by that is they genuinely believe, Donald Trump has been duped into believing this because, again, he's a mush brain. He believes that the reason Minnesota and some of these other blue states that ICE is targeting went against him was because of undocumented immigrants voting. He genuinely believes that, despite the fact there is absolutely no evidence of that, and he has tried repeatedly for like the last 6 years to prove it, and he can't because it's not happening. So the reason they're targeting these states is what I'm saying is because they believe that there is millions of undocumented voting, and that's just not the case, you know?
As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off.
Good.
It's all cut off.
Good.
They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually. Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice. We'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money.
What are you talking about?
Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
These people are so full of fucking hatred, it's ridiculous. Also, what did cleaning snow have to do with anything that he said? Yeah, MAGA has a Nazi problem, guys. They'd all start Sieg Heiling right now if he asked them to. Every single one of them. He's about to throw a temper tantrum, isn't he? This is embarrassing.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I desperately want someone from the Democratic side to stand up and just yell that this man is a fucking pedophile. You know? Like, it's time. Like, take the fucking gloves off. Be the first one to stand up and be like, call him what he is, a member of the Epstein class. If you're gonna disrupt it, you know?
Reminder: Jeffries threatened the entire House caucus to not protest this and practice civility to this Nazi party.
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries, no one should fucking listen to Hakeem Jeffries. Not a single person in the Democratic Party should take their lead from Hakeem Jeffries. My contempt for him is bottomless. What a fucking embarrassment to this country, my God.
And perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act.
Anthony Fantano, thank you very much for the raid. Folks, go follow the needle drop. Go do it.
To stop illegal aliens and others
Welcome,
who are
folks.
unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. The
Welcome
cheating
to hell.
is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple.
It's all rampant. There's so much cheating, and I should know. I've cheated a lot.
No, like, genuinely, he does buy his own bullshit on this, okay? He does buy his own bullshit. He thinks there are tens of millions of undocumented people voting in the United States, and it's why he's trying to target swing states with ICE, because he thinks that by deporting people, he's going to get a larger share of the vote. He genuinely thinks that. It's fucking crazy. Lives in a fucking other reality. God.
All voters must show voter ID.
I guess I assumed everyone knows this. Undocumented immigrants cannot vote. It's not a thing that happens. Like, the Heritage Foundation, the organization behind Project 2025, has been tracking data on undocumented immigrants voting for the past 40 years. And there's something like maybe one case of undocumented people voting every year. Like, maybe two. It's not millions and millions. It's nuts that this narrative has been allowed to take hold without any significant opposition. Like, seriously, if you are someone who believes that undocumented immigrants are voting, you're a fucking child. You're a fucking child who has never actually considered how any of our systems work. God. Go volunteer to work the polls, you stupid morons. And also go volunteer to work the polls, you wonderful non-stupid morons. We need you out there, okay?
All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None.
I thought we weren't doing this live. What did I miss so far?
And this should be an easy one.
Well, it turned out they said it all. They were saying it started at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and I was like, well, I can't make that happen. But then I was out and about, and I checked what was going on with this, and it didn't start until 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to tell you.
And by the way, it's polling at 89%, including Democrats. 89.
Infrared Trump dump detector allegedly to see if Trump evacuates himself on stage, Apprentice style.
No, but if somebody did that, that's very funny.
9%.
The Donald Dump Detector.
And even the new communist mayor of New York City, I think he's a nice guy, actually. Speak to him a lot. Bad policy, but nice guy. Just said they want people to shovel snow. They got hit hard. Wants them to shovel snow, but if you apply for that job, you need to show 2 original forms of ID and a Social Security card.
Yeah?
Yet they don't want identification for the greatest privilege of them all, voting in America. No, it's no good.
Voting's not a privilege, it's a right.
Both Republicans and Democrats overwhelmingly agree on the policy that we just enunciated. And Congress should unite and enact this common sense, country-saving legislation right now, and it should be before anything else happens.
Yeah, it's basic job verification that also undocumented immigrants can get through. God.
And the reason they don't want to do it, why would anybody not want voter ID? One reason, because they want to cheat. There's only one reason.
No, because it disenfranchises legitimate citizens. It creates huge barriers to actually being able to vote. And being able to vote in a democracy is a foundational right. It is a foundational right that you have to go cast a vote. That's how our system works. What he is proposing here is a glorified poll tax. And it's blatantly obvious. And we know how poll taxes were used in the past. They were used to prevent people from voting. Specifically, poll taxes, poll tests, etc. They were used and weaponized to keep, marginalized people from turning out to vote. And that's exactly how ID laws function.
They make up all excuses. They say it's racist. They come up with things you almost say, what imagination they have.
The reason the push for voter ID even started in this country was because of the group, the American Legislative Executive Council, which is a lobbyist group composed of lobbyists from all kinds of different industries that, like 40 years ago, made a massive lobbying effort and wrote legislation for Republicans. And guess what? One of their keystone ideas was voter ID laws. They were being pushed for to disenfranchise people who, again, are more likely to be incarcerated for non-violent crimes. The ideal kinds of people that private prisons want inside of their prisons. Like, the people who pushed for this wanted to imprison predominantly non-violent African Americans, and this was one of their ways they could ensure that that very demographic of people was less likely to vote in their best interests.
They want to cheat, they have cheated, and their policy is so bad that the only way they can get elected is to cheat.
Well, yeah, I don't know how to say your name. Reggie Gibbous. The Save America Act is far worse than a normal poll tax. That's very true. There are a lot of other components to that, but just in general, the concept of voter ID laws is what I was talking about. The Save America Act is far beyond the pale.
And we're going to stop it. We have to stop it, John. And here is one more opportunity to show common sense in government. In the gallery tonight are Sage Blair and her mother, Michelle. In 2021, Sage was 14 when school officials in Virginia sought to socially transition her to a new gender, treating her as a boy and hiding it from her parents. Hard to.
Oh no. Oh no, you mean that there are gonna be kids who take on nicknames at school and try out different nicknames? Oh no, we have to make that illegal. We have to make it illegal to try out nicknames at school. If your name is Richard, you can't be called Dick anymore. No. Oh no. If your name is Jonathan, you can't be called John. Oh no, that's not your name. You're transitioning. You're socially transitioning. Oh no. If you're a girl in school, you can't have short hair. No, that's social transitioning. No. Like, this level of piss baby, like, fear-mongering is genuinely disgusting. It's genuinely disgusting. If you can only be disgusted by this if you're one of two things. One, a fucking Nazi, and two, literally someone who has survived from the time period when women weren't allowed to wear pants. All right? Like, I'm sorry. Just as an FYI, when my mom was a teenager, she was not allowed to wear pants because pants were boys' clothes. And, like, I just want y'all to know, they want to take us back to that. The Republican Party wants to essentially be like, well, if you're a girl wearing pants, you're socially transitioning, and we can't have that. Like, they're going to use this to put in, like, clothing laws back into place. And that's stupid as hell. All right? It's stupid as hell. God. You're a guy? I don't know. I got massive tits, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You're fucking blind.
Believe, isn't it? Before long, a confused Sage ran away from home after she was found in a horrific situation in Maryland. A left-wing judge refused to return Sage to her parents because they did not immediately state that their daughter was their son. Sage was thrown into an all-boys state home and suffered terribly for a long time. But today, all of that is behind them because Sage is a proud and wonderful young woman with a full-ride scholarship to Liberty University.
Oh, God.
Sage and Michelle, please stand up.
Liberty University? I'm unfamiliar with this particular grifter.
And thank you for your great bravery. And who can believe that we're even speaking about things like this? 15 years ago, if somebody was up here and said that, they'd say, what's wrong with him? But now we have to say it because it's going on all over numerous states without even telling the parents. But surely we can all agree.
Well, the reason parents don't get told, one, every time that a child takes on a new nickname is because that would be insane. Number one. And number two, because frankly, if parents get told that, oh, your kid is gay at school, oh, your kid is trans at school, guess what? Oftentimes that can result, because we know what MAGA folks, I see them in chat posting, by the way, over in YouTube chat. MAGA folks look at gay people and say, you should be killed, you should die, etc. And it turns out when those people have children, sometimes they have gay or trans kids. And when those people have children that are gay and trans, and they learn that their kid is gay and or trans, their kids are then put into extreme amounts of danger. Because MAGA parents beat their kids and can even kill their kids. Because there is a reason that statistically a colossal number of homeless youth in this country are trans and gay. And it's because they get abused after they get outed to their parents.
No state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we're even talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately. Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
We must ban it. I gotta say, again, the Republican Party needs to be disbanded. I've talked about this a little bit, but I'm increasingly of the opinion there's no reforming this. There's nothing about this that we can salvage, you know? Like, the entire premise, all these people gleefully looking over and clapping for that sentiment, there's nothing to reform here. The only thing that really needs to happen here is it needs to be made like a federal crime to lie knowingly while you are on the floor of like the Senate, while you're on the floor of Congress, while you are sitting at the podium delivering these speeches. It needs to be a fucking crime. And if you are knowingly lying, you should be held accountable for it and spend time in prison. There needs to be some crazy strong disincentives from engaging in false narratives like this. The fact that they are put into a higher office, but then do not actually live up to higher responsibility in this country is fucking insane. It's fucking insane. Like, if you or I told these level of lies at our fucking workplaces or at our schools or whatever, you would fail your assignments. You'd be fucking out on the street looking for work. You would fucking be out of a job because these kinds of lies are detrimental to any kind of being able to work together. You cannot work together when two parties exist in separate realities. It's just simple as. The entire Republican Party needs to be disbanded.
Amazing. Incredible. Boy, oh boy. We're lucky we have a country. With people like this, Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we? Huh?
I'm also bringing back the Bull Moose Party.
You know, I'm all for bringing back, if a third party were to come into existence that would meaningfully be able to challenge the Dems, I would support it in the heartbeat. You know, like, if we could get a populist party that was rising up to take out both the Republican and the Democratic Party, it would genuinely be incredible. Like, the cowards sitting down here and just silently observing. Look at Chuck Schumer sitting there hunched over in his seat. Like, God, this sucks. Every single person in this room should be ashamed. Like, if you're gonna be here, you should be one by one interrupting this speech and making a scene and calling the President of the United States a pedophile to his face. Okay? You should be, like, making a goddamn scene. The time for, like, oh, we all need to work across the aisle, that's done, man. It's been done for a while.
No one cares more about protecting America's youth than our wonderful First Lady. Now a movie star. She's a movie star. Can you believe it? Who would have believed that?
You all went to go see the movie, right?
She has had an incredible impact championing.
You all went to go see the movie, right? Every single one of you. You saw it, right? You loved it. You left it 5 stars. You gave it 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, right? Every single Republican in this room, right? You all went and saw it. I saw it twice. I love my wife.
AI legislation advancing a landmark executive order on foster care and helping secure $30 million to launch the Melania Trump Foster Youth to Independence Initiative. It's really a tremendous thing that happened and had a lot of bipartisan support. She gets much better bipartisan support than I do. I get none. She gets a lot.
Oh, Larry Durholt, This is for you. Fuck you. People who use fuck so often may in fact be of low education. They may have also be of high education and also just sick and fucking tired of masked thugs sent by this guy to rove their streets, shooting their goddamn neighbors and spiriting away the different people who live and make their community wonderful. I'm fucking sick of my indigenous community members disappearing. I'm fucking sick of my Latino neighbors disappearing. I'm fucking sick of the moms in my city being shot in the face, Larry. So I'm so sorry if my language is uncouth for your delicate, childlike ears. I'm so sorry I ruined your wondrous innocence that you had to protect by talking about my low level of education. Oh my god, my stars and garters, I'm so sorry you need to be so fucking coddled. God, MAGA snowflakes are the most fragile fucking things in existence. Like, seriously. You people could not withstand, like, a light breeze. It's fucking nuts. You stupid assholes.
Someday you're going to have to tell me how you did that. And students and educators in every state have joined the First Lady's efforts in the...
Yes, Larry's hormones are out of whack. He appears to be in testosterone decline, as it were. I know a little something about that.
Presidential AI challenge, keeping America's next generation position.
Many people are saying this. That's why I'm here, at the stake of the onion.
There's a lot of high stakes going on here right now, Sake Tanuki. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs.
To succeed and strongly succeed in the future. Tonight we welcome 2 young people whose lives reflect the First Lady's impact, Sierra Burns and Everest Nevermont.
Oh, tone policing is like the last fallback of conservatives, twin tails. It's like what they got when they have nothing left. They don't give a shit that they share a room with like fucking neo-Nazis. They'll still try and tone police you while they sit right next to a goddamn Nazi and stand Nazi principles. It's it'd be comical if it wasn't so destructive.
Thank you both, and Melania, thank you. I know how hard you worked on it. Thank you very much.
God, I swear, Baron gets taller every single time we see him. Soon he will become one of the giants from Majora's Mask, destined to hold up the moon.
I'm very proud to say that during my time in office, both the first 4 years and in particular this last year, there has been a tremendous renewal in religion, faith, Christianity, and belief in God. Tremendous renewal. This is especially true among young people, and a big part of that had to do with my great friend, Charlie Kirk, a great guy, great man.
Oh, God. Who? Wait, who's he talking about?
So last year, Charlie was violently murdered by an assassin and martyred, really martyred for his beliefs. His wonderful wife, Erica, is with us tonight. Erica, please stand.
No, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to do it.
In Charlie's memory, we must all come together to reaffirm that America is one nation under God, and we must totally reject political violence of any kind. We love religion, And we love bringing it back, and it's coming back.
What if they unironically started playing We Are Charlie Kirk, though? Like, it's not... We've fallen so far into the realm of just wackadoo nonsense that genuinely they could start playing it, and I wouldn't bat an eye. It would just be like... It would be par for the course at this point. Sam and Moose, I've been saying they're trained seals. Look at that. Great minds.
At levels that nobody actually thought possible. It's really a beautiful thing to see. Above all, unleashing America's promise requires keeping our communities safe. We have made incredible strides, yet dangerous repeat offenders continue to be released by pro-crime Democrat politicians again and again. We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zaretska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman, Irina, fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina.
Looks like
and by
he's
the way,
really
what's going
struggling
on
to
with
read.
Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail, stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people.
I do want to remind folks that cashless bail does not just let anybody out of prison. You know, like, you either with the cashless bail system, you're either held or you're not, right? And there's not like this ambiguity of like, oh, we're going to hold you unless you happen to have money. Like, the idea here that like people who are a threat to society should be able to get out of jail pending a trial if they have money, that's kind of bullshit. And all I'm trying to say is that guy would have also gotten out of jail if he had to pay bail, because there are bail bonds. There's just no reason to add financial exploitation into the mix for all kinds of people who are accused of crimes and not actually guilty of them, you know?
People on that train, no one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zaretska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand? I'm asking this Congress to pass tough legislation to ensure that violent and dangerous repeat offenders are put behind bars, and importantly, that they stay there.
Okay, to clarify, repeat offenders are jailed. Like, there are hearings to determine whether or not someone is a threat to themselves, their alleged victims, or wider society. If a judge decides there's no one at risk there, they allow them to go into pending trial. Like, you have to be able to prove that there is a probable cause to hold them, to deny someone their freedom if they are accused of a crime. That's a basic component of like a civil society. You need to be able to prove that someone is guilty. And until then, they are innocent. You know, innocent until proven guilty, that's kind of the vibe, right? So, I just have to say, it's very frustrating to hear over and over again, cashless bail, cashless bail, cashless bail. Like, yeah, they shouldn't be able to arbitrarily keep you caged just because you can't pay. Patrick Lucas, thank you for the gifted membership. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Starting last summer, I deployed our National Guard and federal law enforcement to restore law and order to our most dangerous cities, including Memphis, Tennessee, big success, New Orleans, Louisiana, big success, and our nation's capital itself, Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime anymore in Washington, D.C. How did that happen? In fact, crime in Washington is now at the lowest level ever recorded, and murders in D.C. this January were down close to 100% from a year ago. They don't like to hear that. One of sick people, one of the brave service members who helped achieve this stunning turnaround was 20-year-old West Virginia Army National Guard Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. After a 4-month deployment, she voluntarily extended her service, and her rank was going to be lifted. She was doing so well. They were so proud of her. But the very next day, she was on patrol near the White House when she was ambushed and shot in the head by a terrorist monster from Afghanistan. Shouldn't have been in our country. And all because she wore the uniform of our nation, she was shot. He traveled here because he didn't like people wearing our uniform. He was...
That's such a goddamn lie. That guy literally worked for the CIA. He worked for U.S. forces in Iraq. The Trump administration approved his visa to come here based on his past collaboration and work with the US military. He was literally part of an infamous CIA unit called the Zero Unit. You can look this shit up. And I want to say here that one of the failures for that guy in particular was that the CIA did not provide him a job after he arrived here, which in turn left him spiraling, economically desperate, and angry at the people who had fucking left him here to rot and destitute and in poverty. And so, like, the Trump administration set all of this up and is now trying to use that man as a way to demonize other people from Iraq. It is fucking disgusting.
Sick and deranged, shouldn't have been in our country. Sarah Beckstrom died in order to defend our capital, and we are honored to be joined by her wonderful parents, Gary and Eva Lee. Your daughter was a true American patriot, and she will be greatly missed. She was a great person.
Sorry.
I saw reports on her. They've never seen anything like it. So sorry. Thank you very much. She's a great young lady. I saw reports that were like, perfect. She was perfect. Serving alongside Sarah that day was Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf. The terrorist shot Andrew in the head, and no one thought he could possibly make it. The two of them, Sarah and Andrew, both shot violently in the head. Neither was expected to make it. They weren't even given a chance.
God,
except
so much of so fucking much of this speech is dedicated to you need to be afraid of non-white people. It's genuinely deranged bullshit. It is racism, like, personified. Like, you couldn't ask for a better presidential candidate for the KKK. Like, he's straight up recycling KKK talking points. It's fucking sad.
Beautiful mother named Melody, who I spoke to the same night, and she was so positive. The doctors thought that Andrew was gone, but his mother said, no, no, Mr. President, Andrew will be fine. He's going to make it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he was given almost no chance. She said, I have no doubt, sir, he's going to be okay. This was a conversation that I had with her that night, with her son laying helplessly in bed, blood all over. Everybody is praying, she said, sir, he will be okay. The doctors didn't understand what she was saying. And after looking at the results of the damage done, neither did I. She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great...
Oh, you can actually see the bruise on his hand right here. Like, if you look, there are going to be some other angles, but like Daily Beast and Getty Images pointed out here. Look at that. Dude's not looking so hot.
Great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melanie? She turned out to be right. Amazing, actually. I said, where does this woman come from? She's the most positive person I've ever met. With God's help, Andrew has battled back from the edge of death, and we're talking about the edge of death, on his way to a miraculous recovery. He's got a little work to do, but he's doing great. Nice to see you. He's a good-looking guy. Nice to see you. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Can I just say, the shamelessness of the fucking Democrats. I'm getting texts right now for donations to the Democratic Party. Before Trump's speech ends, Dems get 700% matched donation, highest ever. $10 equals $80, $25 equals $200. Donate to make it backfire. Like, damn. I fucking hate this system, man.
So, Andrew, while you're up, now I'm going to ask a highly respected General James Seward to present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
Is anyone buying this? I've been following all the conservative live streams, and most are desperately trying to contain their laughter. No shit. I would say no one should be buying this shit, but MAGA Republicans are famously easy to dupe. Professor Dumpster Fire, I actually have
we love you all.
My own liquid courage, so I'm doing good.
We're proudly restoring safety for Americans at home, and we are also restoring security for Americans abroad. Our country has never been stronger. My first 10 months, I ended 8 wars,
Hey, Lord Blackman.
including Cambodia. Isn't it funny? Sick people. Cambodia and Thailand, Pakistan and India. Would have been a nuclear war. 35 million people said the Prime Minister of Pakistan would have died if it were not for my involvement. Kosovo and Serbia, Israel and Iran, Egypt and Ethiopia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the Congo.
He's ended so
and
many
Rwanda,
wars.
and of course the war in Gaza, which proceeds at a very low level. It's just about there. And I want to thank Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner for your help. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Jared. And I also want to thank the man they report to, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Thank you, Marco.
What do you mean proceeds at a really low level? He means that he hasn't actually, like, ended the fucking genocide against Gaza. Like, it's all a fucking farce, so that they've just been able to more quietly kill Palestinians. It's escalating in the West Bank, by the way. Like, what Donald Trump is doing is just allowing Israel to move the theater of operations for ethnic cleansing and genocide. That's it. There's the little Marco.
People are like
now I'd
you.
like to introduce the world to Big
Marco
Polo.
got 100% of the votes when he was in confirmation. I think our next one was about 54%. And some of the Democrats are now saying, I can't believe we approved that guy. And he said it's an honor that they feel that way, right, Marco? You have done a great job, great Secretary of State. I think he'll go down as the best ever.
Ah, yes, look at Marco Rubio, a man who clearly was just paid such a great and sincere compliment. Look at his face. He's just thrilled and ecstatic. He loves being here for this. He certainly doesn't feel demeaned or small or want to disappear into a corn cob. Nope, he's having the time of his life. That's why every single time he's public, he looks like the most miserable son of a bitch to ever exist.
Under the ceasefire I negotiated, every single hostage, both living and dead, has been returned home. Can you believe that? Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought that was possible. Both living and dead. And those parents who had a dead son, their boy, they'd always tell me their boy, they wanted him as much as though he were living. It was an amazing period of time. And they came back, and when we got all of the living...
They wanted him as much as they were living? What are you talking about?
Hostages back, and many, many before them, but I always said those last 20 are going to be very tough, but we got many, many more, hundreds. But I said those last 20 are going to be tough. We got them back. But we only got back 14 or 15 of the dead of the 28. And believe it or not, Hamas worked along with Israel, and they dug and they dug and they dug. It's a tough thing to do, going through bodies all over, passing up 100 bodies sometimes for each one that they found. Tough job. And they finally got it back to 27. And then Steve and Jared, they got it back to 28. They found all 28. Nobody thought that was possible, but we did it. And I remember the family of the 28th. They were so grieved, but they were so happy as it's possible to be. They had their boy back. The mother said, "Sir, we have our boy back." What a period of time that was, but we got them all back. So thank you both very much. Great job.
This political movement is strangling our goddamn country.
And we're working very hard to end the ninth war, the killing and slaughter between Russia and Ukraine, where 25,000 soldiers are dying each.
Remember when he said he was going to end it in one day? Within 24 hours after being sworn in, he was going to end the Russia-Ukraine war.
In
God.
regards to Palestine, Trump has mentioned before that people want the bodies of their dead relatives back because this man lacks empathy and can't imagine people caring for each other.
That's true. He does not understand. I think Trump is very much in like a, well, what can they do for me if they're dead kind of like mentality, you know?
Every month, think of that, 25,000 soldiers are dying a month. A war which would have never happened if I were president, would have never happened. As president, I will make peace wherever I can, but I will never hesitate to confront threats to America wherever we must. That's why in a breakthrough operation last...
Oh, you're right. You're right, Jason Kelly. Maybe he was talking about a day in like the biblical sense, like how God created the heaven and the earth, you know, like just... You know, a day in like God time rather than a day in human time. You're right. Maybe that's what he meant.
June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer.
Just as an FYI, apparently the arms and ammunition shortages are so bad with the massive amount of hardware and manpower he's assembled off the coast of Iran that his top generals are basically telling him, we do not have the ability to fight a prolonged conflict here, so you can't really escalate it to full-on war because we do not have the bullets for it. We do not have like the ammunition to like sustain that. So I guess that's one piece of good news, that like Donald Trump has been so bloodthirsty and so prone to like bombing shit that we literally can't have a prolonged conflict with Iran. So hopefully that stops this ludicrous train of not execution, escalation. There we go. Also, all our ships are filling with poop. True.
Good. For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. Many decades. Since they seized control of that proud nation 47 years ago, the regime and its murderous proxies have spread nothing but terrorism and death and hate. They've killed and maimed thousands of American service members and hundreds of thousands and even millions of people with what's called roadside bombs. They were the kings of the roadside bomb. And we took out Soleimani. I did that during my first term. Had a huge impact.
He sounds like
he
he's
was
about
the
to fall
father
asleep.
of the roadside bomb.
Like, is he gonna fall asleep? Like, genuinely? Is he running out of the juice?
And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like, 32,000 protesters. 32,000 protesters in their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe and our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to...
I'm praying for him to shit himself. I need it to happen. It has to happen.
...to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet they continue They're starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again. And are at this moment again pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear
We need the
weapon.
brand wave. The
My
brand wave will
preference-
save us.
My preference is to solve this problem through diplomacy. But one thing is certain, I will never allow the world's #1 sponsor of terror, which they are by far, to have a nuclear weapon. Can't let that happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. When I say brown wave, I'm not talking about the small tremors. I'm talking about the big event, you know what I mean?
And no nation should ever doubt America's resolve. We have the most powerful military on earth. I rebuilt the military in my first term.
Worshipper of Olympians,
We're
too
going to
many.
continue to do so. Also, we just approved a $1 trillion budget. We have no choice. We have to be strong because hopefully we will seldom have to use this great power that we built together. It's really called peace through strength, and it's been very, very effective.
I already said worshipper of Olympians, too many.
So thanks to Republicans in Congress, we're investing that record number of dollars, have no choice, in the United States Armed Forces. Also creating a lot of jobs, but we're not even doing it for that reason. Because as I said, we have more jobs, more people working today than ever before in the history of our country. And NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed at my very strong request to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 2. And getting that 5% was something which everyone said would never be done, could not happen. We got it really easily. One meeting. And big difference between 2% that's not paid. We were paying the freight of many of them. Very few were paid up. Now 5%, then they're paid. And everything we send over to Ukraine is sent through NATO, and they pay us in full. They pay us totally in full. Every branch of our armed forces is setting records for recruitment. This is so exciting. And every service member recently. And every service member recently received a warrior dividend of $1,776. You know, they put it on my desk. We got the money from tariffs and other things, a lot of money we have. We have much more money than people understand. Have to rebuild that program a little bit, but it won't take long. But we got the money, and it was $1,775, and they wanted my approval. And I said, what's the number? $1,775. I said, wait a minute. For one more dollar, we can have $1,776. It's going to I said, we're going to figure that. I never asked anybody if we could afford it. One more dollar, I said $1,776. And I said, that's good. And I'll tell you what, our military, that was 4 months ago, our military, I never see a person in the military that doesn't thank me for it. So we're honored to do it. They deserve it. And we call it 17.
I gotta be honest, I'm bored as hell. You know, there was a time when State of the Union speeches were like 10 minutes tops.
1976, it was great. And we love our military. We love our law enforcement. We love our firemen. You know, the firemen don't get mentioned enough. We love our firemen. We
love our firemen, don't we, folks? Especially their calendars. You know, I really like the ones where they take all their shirts off. Those ones, they're the best ones. I like my firemen to be beefy, you know what I mean? I want to know that they can really hold me and take care of me if there's a fire. Carry me down that ladder, you know? I was a fireman, you know. I would say
We're also
you're
restoring
fired.
American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. For years, large swaths of territory in our region, including large parts of Mexico, really large parts of Mexico, have been controlled by murderous drug cartels. That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
That's right. That's why when all the cops see it, and they start to feel the effects before they've even gotten within 100 yards of it. That's right, folks. If a bag of fentanyl hits the ground, it's like an atomic bomb going off. No one can live there anymore. It's true. It's true. If that happens, it's a weapon of mass destruction. Yeah. A weapon of mass destruction, just like cocaine. And, some of the other fun party drugs. Those are all weapons of mass destruction, too, in a way. More like
I'm
weapons of
reading
ass
explicit
destruction.
BL while listening to this.
I can't.
It helps
I'm sorry.
with the elderly rambling.
I bet it does help with the elderly rambling Lily Love stuff. That's probably the ideal way of consuming this speech. Mixing it with just heavy homoerotic vibes as these trained seals go up and down on their leader's order, as it were.
And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea. You probably know.
Well, unless it's shipped in by water or sea or land, because, well, you see, our hospitals all have fentanyl in them. So, when you think about it, hospitals are really similar to WMD silos. It's true. I've seen the nuclear silos. They're exactly the same as hospitals.
What is that?
Dead Domain, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, folks.
Very seriously damaged their fishing industry also. Nobody wants to go fishing anymore. We've also taken...
Why is that fucking funny? Like, genuinely, why is it funny to be like, oh, look, tens of millions of people in another country are afraid to go fishing for basic subsistence. Ha 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 ha. But why is that funny? Well, they're afraid, you see, because we kill them. Why is that funny? Why is it funny that the United States government is, without any kind of provocation, killing fishermen? Why is that fucking funny? That you're doing random ass executions in the middle of the ocean. Like, genuinely, there needs to be accountability for the people who are in power right now. It's disgusting.
Taken down one of the most sinister cartel kingpins of all. You saw that yesterday. In January,
Yeah, I guess they just killed those fishermen as a joke. What a funny thing to do, murder.
In January, elite American warriors carried out one of the most complex, spectacular feats of military competence and power in world history. No one's seen anything like it. Foreign leaders, I won't tell you who, called me and they said, very impressive, very impressive. They couldn't believe, they all watched, they saw what happened. This is a different fighting force that we had years ago when we fought to tie. You know, it's a great fighting force. I'm so proud of it. Look at Space Force. Space Force is my baby, because we did that. My baby, it's becoming so important. And America's armed forces overwhelmed all defenses and utterly defeated an enemy, good fighters, to end the reign of outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro and bring him to face American justice. And this was an absolutely colossal victory for the security of the United States, and it also opens up a bright new beginning for the people of Venezuela. We're working closely.
A bright new beginning with the exact same leadership they had before, minus one guy. It'll be a bright new era of things being exactly the same with one minor difference.
With the new president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, to unleash extraordinary economic gains for both of our countries and to bring new hope to those who have suffered so terribly. They really did suffer. With us tonight is Alejandro Gonzalez. She grew up in a tight-knit Venezuelan family and was especially close to her beloved uncle Enrique. But after Enrique ran for office and opposed Maduro, he was kidnapped by Maduro's security forces and thrown into the regime's really infamous prison in Caracas. Alejandro feared she would never see her uncle again. She feared for her own life also. But since the raid, we have worked with the new leadership, and they have ordered the closure of that vile prison and released hundreds of political prisoners already, with more to come. Alejandro, I'm pleased to inform you that not only has your uncle been released...
There are so many standing ovations today. Republicans sure are getting a workout.
Yeah. I just, like, the thing that I think of, and I know it's a bit inappropriate, but the thing that I think of when I see these Republicans going up and down is the training bike that Mac uses in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know? I don't know if any of you are familiar with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but if you are, I think that you know exactly what I mean by that.
But he is here tonight. We brought him over to celebrate his freedom with you in person. Enrique, please come down.
Sorry, I need you all to
I wish
understand.
it need not have happened.
God, fuck. I need you all to understand what I'm talking about, so here you go. Just without some sound. I think you all will understand what's happening here. Alright? It's just a normal workout bike. It's a normal workout bike. Look at that. Look at it go. It helps you work out. It helps you stand up and sit down. And that's what's happening here with this bike. It's motivating you to stand up. It's motivating you to stand up. Okay? That's what's happening there.
Thank you, Enrique. Have a good time. Nice to have you back, Enrique. There were many heroes on that January raid to capture Maduro. Really great heroes. It was very dangerous. They knew we were coming. They were all set. But the deeds of one warrior that night will live forever in the eternal chronicles of military valor. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Eric Slover, planned to...
The reps always have hurt butts. At the State of the Union when they are doing booty workouts to Trump's slice, and at the RNC when Grindr app goes down.
It's true, Jayla Rose. Thank you for the $5 super chat. But like, you see what I mean, right? Like, he's like clinging on to that thing for dear life.
Mission and was the flight lead in the cockpit of the first helicopter a big, beautiful, powerful helicopter. It was a massive Chinook carrying, as you can imagine, many, many American warfighters. Wearing the dog tags, his wife Amy had blessed with holy water before he left. She knew it was going to be a rough one. Eric steered the Chinook under the cover of night and descended swiftly upon Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation, protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good. While preparing to land, enemy machine guns fired from every angle, and Eric was hit very badly in the leg and hip, one bullet after another. He absorbed 4 agonizing shots, shredding his leg into numerous pieces. And yet, despite the fact that the use of his legs was vital to successful helicopter flight, legs are the most important part of flying a helicopter, to deliver the many commandos who would capture and detain Maduro was the only thing Eric was thinking about. Then, even as he was gushing blood, which was flowing back down the aisle, helicopter lands at a steep angle. The machine guns stood right in front of him. They were right in front of him, 2 machine gunners who escaped the wrath of the previous planes. Eric maneuvered his helicopter with all of those lives and souls to face the enemy and let his gunners eliminate the threat. Turned the helicopter around so the gunners could take care of business, saving the lives of his fellow warriors from what could have been a catastrophic crash deep in enemy territory. Only after safely landing the helicopter with all the warriors aboard in the exact right spot, which was vital to the mission. We probably would have had to maybe cancel the mission if that didn't happen. Eric told his co-pilot, also wounded, but not as gravely, to take over. I'm about ready to pass out. The success of the entire mission and the lives of his fellow warriors hinge on Eric's ability to take the searing pain. It was unbelievable what's happened to his legs of the bullets and keep on flying and landing, and people knew what was happening. Everybody in the back of the helicopter knew because they saw the blood pouring down the aisle. Chief Warrant Officer Slover is still recovering from his serious wounds, but I'm thrilled to say that he is here tonight with his wife Amy, Eric, and Amy, come on in. So we have a surprise for Eric and Amy. In recognition of Eric's actions above and beyond the call
you got it
of
right.
duty, I would now like to ask General Jonathan Braga to present Chief Warrant Officer Slover with our nation's highest military award, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
He does not look happy to be there.
Well, thank you very much,
Is
Eric
that the note
and
he's going to
Amy.
end on? Is he going to end on the note of like, well, I gave a Medal of Freedom to make all of you Democrats stand up?
Great to get to know you. I met with them and with a lot of their
This is
fellow
gross. It
warriors
really
at Fort
is.
Bragg recently. You notice the name Fort Bragg. We have it back. We brought it back. We won the First World War with it, the Second World War with it, and then they decided to change the name. So we changed it back. Everybody wanted to change back too. And 10 of Eric's fellow warriors from that incredible night of victory will also be receiving medals at a private ceremony that will soon be held at the White House, and Eric will be there.
Thanks for the $2 Australian, Pat Lucas.
Thank you.
Yeah, if Democrats were going to show up, they should have showed up to protest. Instead, they showed up to, like, look severely at them as if, like, looking severe is going to stop Republican
Thank
overreach.
you, Eric. That's a big one. Tonight we've celebrated many truly extraordinary American patriots, but there is one last living legend to honor before we go. He is one more heroic American aviator, Navy fighter pilot. Royce Williams served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, flying more than 220 missions. In the skies over Korea in 1952, Royce was in the dogfight of a lifetime. Legendary.
Yeah, Dems
dogfight.
shouldn't have shown up.
Flying through blizzard conditions, his squadron was ambushed by 7
Like,
Soviet
why
fighter
validate
planes.
this at all?
It was his first aerial combat of the war, and despite being massively outnumbered and outgunned, Royce led the takedown of 4 enemy jets and almost destroyed the others, vanquishing his adversaries while taking 263 bullets to his own plane and being seriously hurt. His story was secret for over 50 years. He didn't even want to tell his wife, but the legend grew and grew. But tonight, at 100 years...
What does this have to do with the State of the Union? Excellent question. And the answer is not one thing. The answer is Donald Trump has effectively turned the State of the Union from something that concerns all Americans to a vanity project for himself, where he can glorify himself by presenting awards to people and fear-mongering about scary black and brown people. It is all to flatter him. That's it. He does not give a shit about rank and file, everyday Americans who are out there working their butts off just to live every day.
Considering the majority of service people fucking hate Trump, he probably hates that receiving that honor from him ties his achievement with that cowardly blowhard.
Yeah, I mean, that's one interpretation for sure.
Years old, this brave Navy captain is finally getting the recognition he deserves. He was a legend long before this evening. Royce, please stand up, and I will ask the First Lady of the United States to present Captain Royce Williams with his Congressional Medal of Honor.
I mean, like, I get that the Democrats are trying to take the high road here, but what has it actually gotten them in the optics of this? All it has done is serve to legitimize this clown fuckery of a proceeding, you know? Like, this is a joke, frankly. What high road? The high road that the Baileys want them to have. Don't you know? Have you never seen the members of the Democratic side of the spectrum so enraged, so aroused?
People are aroused. I haven't seen people so aroused in a very, very long time.
Melania accidentally chokes him out. Who the fuck is whistling? I think it's Chip Roy. True story. They gave that man the Medal of Honor for being the one person who willingly went to go see the Melania documentary. It's true. It's true. Don't look it up. It's just true. True story. Baron's planning to eat that man later. He's looking at him thinking, I could eat that man. I am gonna eat that man. Oh my, oh, we are clapping for a long time, aren't we?
Thank you, Royce, and thank you, Eric. I've always wanted the Congressional Medal of Honor, but I was informed
Baron's
I'm not
gotten
allowed
so
to
tall.
give it to myself, and I wouldn't know why I'd be taking it, but if they ever open up that law, I will be there with you someday. But you know, that's our highest honor, Congressional Medal of Honor, and that's a big thing, and it's an honor to be in the same room with you. Thank you both very much, Eric. Thank you. Thank you. 250 years is a long time in the life of a nation, but in another sense, it's really a mere moment in the eye of history. Two of the gentlemen we met in the gallery this evening took their first breaths 1 century ago, 100 years before that, on July 4th, 1826, the author of the Declaration of Independence, brilliant, Thomas Jefferson, drew his last breath. Just a single.
Baron Trump is an adult man. Shut the fuck up. Like, my God. He's just a boy! A birthday boy! He's a fucking adult man who is making bank off of cryptocurrency scams that his dad is funneling money into. Alright? Shut the fuck up.
Single long human lifespan separates the giants who declared and won our independence from the heroes who stand among us tonight. Everything our nation has done, everything we have achieved, has been the work of those few great lifetimes.
Oh, he's just a little boy. He's literally the co-founder of Liberty Financial, the fucking Donald Trump cryptocurrency scam company. Like, I gotta be honest, you people are stupid as hell. Conservatives are just like, oh, but he's just a little baby boy. Baron Trump is literally suckling on the teat of all of the scams the entire Trump family is doing and getting tens of millions of dollars. Stop it.
In those brief chapters, Americans built this nation from 13 humble colonies into the pinnacle of human civilization and human freedom, the strongest, wealthiest, most powerful, most successful nation in all of history. Americans ventured out across the daunting and dangerous continent. We carved paths through an unforgiving wilderness, settled a boundless frontier, and tamed the beautiful but very, very dangerous Wild West. From empty marshes and wide open plains, we raised up the world's greatest cities. Together, we mastered the world's mightiest industries and shattered history's monstrous tyrannies. And we liberated millions from the chains of fascism, communism, oppression, and terror.
And then we brought it all here to build more concentration camps because we needed them. We got rid of them and then we realized we were wrong, and so we're building a bunch of concentration camps here in America. It only made sense.
Americans lifted humanity into the skies on the wings of aluminum and steel, and then we launched mankind into the stars on rockets powered by sheer American will and unyielding American pride.
Yeah, guys, remember, America, famously, no one lived here prior to colonization. Famously, no one existed in North and South America prior to Europeans arriving here, right? It's not like a colossal genocide happened after European arrival, huh? Okay, anyway.
We wired the globe with our ingenuity. We captivated the planet with American culture. And now we are pioneering the next great American breakthroughs that will change the entire world. All of this and so much more is the enduring legacy, unmatched glory of the hardworking patriots who built and defended this country and who still carry the hopes and freedoms on all of humanity's backs. For years they were forgotten, betrayed, and cast aside. But that great betrayal is over, and they will never be forgotten again. Because when the world needs courage, daring, vision, and inspiration, it is still turning to America. And when God needs a nation to work his miracles, he knows exactly who to ask. There is no challenge Americans cannot overcome, no frontier too vast for us to conquer, no dream too bold for us to chase.
I'm pretty sure
no
he's
horizon too distant
said
for
this
us to claim.
verbatim before.
For our destiny is written by the hand of providence, and these first 250 years were just the beginning. From the rugged border towns of Texas to the heartland villages of Michigan, from the sun-kissed shores of Florida to the endless fields of the Dakotas, and from the historic streets of Philadelphia to right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the golden age of America is upon us. The revolution that began in 1776 has not ended. It still continues because the flame of liberty and independence still burns in the heart of every American patriot. And our future will be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank God. Look at him just lumbering there. I'm really disappointed he didn't shit himself, guys. I'm really disappointed. I do think it's very funny that his cabinet is all continuing to clap, even as everyone else is milling out. Look at that guy was still clapping. Scott Passant, man. No, not that's Scott Passant. Never mind. I don't know who this guy is. How do you know he didn't? Okay, let me rephrase. I was really hoping he would crap himself loud enough that we would all hear it. I was really hoping for it. But that didn't happen, and now I'm a little upset, but that's okay. We'll live and we'll get over it. So, thoughts. Post-speech thoughts. I guess I'll just say, you know, even though he was reading a pre-written script, he was rambly as hell. Like, he was just all over the place. And, like, physically, he did not seem like he was doing okay, you know? And I don't know exactly what's going on with him. Obviously, it was bad. Yes, obviously it was bad. The level of vitriol... I guess I wasn't expecting the, like, overt and direct racism. I was expecting a lot of, like, oh, look at this story of a bad undocumented immigrant, and look at this story of a bad undocumented immigrant, and this one, and this one. I was expecting kind of like one of the last ones we got, And instead, what we got was, essentially anyone who's black and brown you should be afraid of, like just a speech dedicated to hate mongering against people who are different than you, people who look different, people who sound different. Like anyone who is different from you, you should be afraid of and should be like pleading for the government to liberate you from their presence, And I gotta say, I think genuinely this entire speech was incredibly anti-American, incredibly anti the very concept and spirit of what this nation is supposed to be. And I think that we can, in fact, forge a better future and move beyond this, but that future needs to be built upon accountability for all of these evil motherfuckers who have the brazenness to stand in front of the entire country and clap and cheer for what they know are bullshit lies. And I think we need accountability, not just for people in political power. We need accountability from people in corporate power. We need accountability from, folks who have failed us so profoundly that they should not be in a leadership position ever again. And I think that we need to build upon a bedrock of accountability before we can actually have people trust in a government enough to, reform larger systems. That's my personal belief system here. Yeah, he did really talk about a lot of like blood, gore, guts. I wasn't terribly surprised about that, but that was interesting. I was really angry at the Democrats for not using the moment to protest Trump, for not using the moment to, like, I don't know, at least call him a pedophile, at least stage a walkout, at least do something. But they all sat there at the behest of Hakeem Jeffries and just sat there like lumps. It's pathetic. Man, we need better. We need people who are actually willing to fight for us. At least Al Green got thrown out, Not even signs, right? And I don't know. Overall, very disappointed. Not surprised, however. I'm going to beg you guys at this point to please get involved, because we need to get Democrats elected who will actually go out and fight for you, who are actually going to be working in your communities and trying to provide for you as a constituent, who are actually going to make sure no one gets thrown under the bus and make sure a rising tide lifts all boats, So I'm going to ask you guys, join your local Dems, get involved with them today, because on a local level, you have a lot more power than you do on a national level. Let's start local and build from there, okay? Go join your local Democrats, make them more progressive. That's your job. Your job is to make your local Democrats more progressive and to join your local DSA and make them more effective. We can, in fact, build organizations that are capable, like the New York City DSA, to help people in our towns and cities and states. We can do that. We can be part of showing up and building that political movement, because everyone here has essentially failed us. Democrats and Republicans. And if you need help getting involved, folks, join our Discord, reach out to Gamergy for help with your DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. We have people in our community who want to onboard you into becoming a part of making your community a better place. And I know that there are people who have taken us up on that offer and who are now doing canvassing, who are now fighting for better rent conditions in their cities. I know that there are people out there who are following up on this and they are seeing results. It is not a hopeless situation, and you have far more power than this system wants to constantly try and convince you that you have. They want you to believe you're powerless. You are, in fact, powerful. All right? So join your local Dems, join your local DSA. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Comments are really helpful for the algorithm, so please feel free to comment. And also check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. People find it comfortable, flattering, and sexy. So check it out. Link should be down in the doobly-doo. And also, new colors, sizes, and styles coming in the near future. And in fact, you can kind of see I'm wearing one of the new colors at the moment, just as like a little accent right there. It's like a dusky lilac. It's very lovely. Anyway, let us know what you think. And let's keep on going, folks. Never lose hope.
Riverboat Jack is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, dating, plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff